Here we are in West Virginia. This is zone 7A slash 6B. Not quite sure exactly which one it is. This is where I got my figs here. So I have about 10 trees in this area. We've already, it's middle of November here. We've already lost a lot of the leaves here. We had one day where it got down to about 25. So we've only had, I think that's only been the one freeze that we've had. You can see that we did get some fruits this year. A lot of these grew up from the ground because we had almost total dieback on most of these. So we're going to try something a little different. We're going to try some really good winter protection on these before it gets too cold. You can see a bunch of the figs have dried on the trees. I got a Macedonia Dark there, JH Adriatic, Marseille Black VS, U Naples Yellow over there, LSU Champagne, Ronde Bordeaux down there, Little Miss Figgy, lots of Rula over there. You can see the figs kind of dried here on the tree, and sorry about that road noise. Yeah, you can see a bunch of the figs here just dried on the tree. Over here we have Violette de Bordeaux. So again, this one's got a bunch of figs that dried on the tree. They didn't quite ripen properly. And then Capole Curt Negra. So let's see if we can do some winter protection on these to get them ready for winter. Okay, so on this Violette de Bordeaux, you can see I dug it up. I think I'm going to try binding up the trunks there with some twine, and then laying it down into the ground and then covering it with some dirt. And we'll see what happens in the spring, but I think this method's going to work pretty well. Well, by the way, the current air temperature here is about 35 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a little bit of a wind. You can see we are in the mountains of West Virginia. I'm on an eastern facing hill. This is where I have these trees. I also grow some apples, starting to grow some apples, pears, and cherries up here on the hill. But this definitely gets some wind, but decent sun from the east there and to the south. So this is why I planted it and planted these figs in this area. Okay, you can see I kind of bound this tree up with the twine, the jute twine, really well. And I only left 4 trunks. I cut the smaller ones, the little suckers. I buried this. I made sure that I could lay it in a hole and make sure everything could get covered pretty well. And I'm going to make sure that I cover up this root ball pretty well so that it gets moisture from the ground. You can also see I left some roots. I have this one big root right here. You can see here on that one right there. So if you can leave some attached, that way the tree can still get some water and if it needs to from there. But the next step is we're just going to make sure it gets buried, and we'll do that. Okay, here we go. We got it all covered up. You can see it looks pretty flat. I did put some mulch back on top of it that I had scraped off before, but I just used these pickaxes to dig up the soil, make sure I got everything covered well, and didn't even need any staples. I have some staples there I could have used, but didn't need them. So my goal here is to make it as simple as possible so that this is just easier, less process. So you know, these trees are only a couple years old, so my goal here is while they're young, let's get them established, let's get them protected. So let's go ahead and do the other trees the same way. Okay, here's little Miss Figgy in the ground before we bury it. I didn't even wrap this with any twine because I don't think it needs it. So the idea here is just to keep it simple. Less work, make it easier. And this time I used my reciprocating saw to go around the roots a little bit, just to make it easier to get them out and dig them up. And I also used a spade shovel to help go around, circle around it a little bit. So the more I do it, the easier it gets, and I figure out the most efficient process. Okay, so I got all the figs covered here. They're all buried. So we'll see what happens this coming spring. Hopefully we get good survival rate. It's the first time I've ever really buried everything. But I buried some things in the past and they've always done really well. So I'm excited to see what the results are in the spring. So we'll see.
Thanks for watching the WV Retreat channel. Hey, do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give us a comment to let us know what you think. Hit subscribe and the notification bell to be emailed as new videos are released.